Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today we have a very exciting video. We're going to be reviewing this 2024 BMW M4 Competition xDrive. So I'm super excited to show you guys this. I've been in several of these vehicles, M3 Comp xDrives, M3 Comp rear wheel drives, M4 rear wheel drives, but I've never actually filmed a video and did like a Dragy test, or actually I did do a Dragy test on the M4 xDrive, but I've never filmed a video of me driving it and sharing my thoughts on an M4 xDrive. If you guys are new to my channel, I have a 2024 BMW M2, and the one thing I wish that car had, I love everything about it, but the one thing I wish it had was xDrive, so this will give me a good idea of how an M2 with xDrive would perform. So let's go and walk around this car. This is in Dravit Grey, and it has the Fiona red interior. The merino leather is what you get on the M4s, whereas my M2 has the Vernasca leather, so it's a little bit more of a coarse leather on the M2. This one does have a resonated single mid pipe, and the reason he went with a resonated single mid pipe is because he plans on doing down pipes in the future, so he went with resonated. My M2 has a non-resonated mid pipe, but it's the same exact mid pipe from Mastery of Arts and Designs, I think that's what it's called. M4 xDrive, you guys can see in the back there. Very nice color. It's got the carbon roof. But yeah, this is gonna be really fun. We're gonna get some Dragy testing in, and then I'm mainly gonna be sharing my thoughts on how this drives in comparison to my M2. Before we hop inside, I gotta show you guys the S58 engine. So in M3 Comp xDrives, this is a 2024 model. They come with 503 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. This is the same exact engine that's in my M2. It's just supposedly tuned for more power, or the M2 supposedly turned down. I've raced M3 and M4 xDrives and rear wheel drives, and my M2 seems to be pretty much the same. If anything, this is maybe a tiny bit faster, but we're gonna go ahead and find out with Dragy data and seat of the pants and everything like that when we go take it for a spin. All right guys, check out this nice interior. So with the M3s and M4s, you can get a upgraded like interior color, whereas the M2 you're kind of stuck with like black. But you got a nice soft touch up here. This is a little bit nicer than what's on my M2. You got this nice merino leather down here, and then this part down here is a little bit of a higher quality plastic. It's barely higher quality, but it's a tiny bit better. And then you got these merino leather seats with the two-tone design, which is really nice. These seats feel nice and soft. Same seat design, but the leather material is just a little bit better. And then as far as everything else, sorry about the sun there, as far as everything else, it looks exactly the same as my M2. All right, so this one has 26,000 miles. So let's see how it performs with 26,000 miles. Mine has around 11,000 miles right now, but they're both 2024s. So it's gonna start up here. Sounds good. Obviously they sound pretty much the same. It's the same engine. But yeah, this is a beautiful interior. And then the M4s have more room in the back seat. So you guys can see there's a little bit of room for the back passengers. So the M4 is slightly longer than the M2, which means it has a little bit more rear seat passenger space. But as far as the trunk space, they're exactly the same on both. All right guys, let's set off here. So I have everything in efficient mode right now. So right off the bat, this is not really an M2 versus M4 thing, but with his exhaust, it's a little bit buzzier at low speed than mine, which is kind of weird because mine is the non-resonated version. Yeah, this one feels a little bit buzzier at low speeds. So we're in four-wheel drive, obviously, being xDrive. We're gonna take off onto the street here and see how it does. Yeah, obviously no spinning at all. I mean, yeah, it definitely inspires more confidence when you can just, you know, take off like that. That wasn't flooring it. We'll get to that later, but yeah, that's nice, being able to just take off and just go, you know. All right, so I'm gonna put it in sport just for the engine right now, and we're gonna do a little pull onto the freeway here. Wow, very impressive speed, obviously. No, the transmission was just in shift setting number 1. So it was shifting very smooth. It wasn't like banging off the shifts. But yeah, it's fast for sure. It's definitely fast. Does it feel fast on my M2? I don't know yet. I don't know. It feels very, very similar. Wow. Well, maybe I need to be in Sport Plus everything. I'll try again in Sport Plus everything. Steering feels slightly lighter than... Oh, we got to get around this car. Catch up to this Porsche real quick. The steering feels lighter than my M2, and it's not because it's in comfort mode, because I leave my M2 normally in comfort as well. I don't know why, but the steering feels lighter. And when I drove an M4 Competition rear wheel drive, it felt the same. The steering just felt lighter for some reason. And what it could be, I read reports that the M2 has cast wheels, and the M4 and M3 come with forged wheels. So if that's the case, that means that these wheels are lighter, which would make the steering probably feel a little bit lighter. But I could be wrong. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. But the steering definitely feels lighter, and I've noticed this on more than one M4. So far, everything's great. I mean, the ride feels pretty much the same as my M2. The interior space feels the same. It's a coupe, so the door's long, so I have space because I have my seat pretty far back since I'm tall. And there's tons of room over here, tons of headroom. Feels great. Steering wheel feels the same. We got the squeaky in brakes, but that's normal. These ones are a lot squeakier than mine, but it could be because it has more miles. Let's turn off our AC so we get maximum horsepowers. All right, so I'm gonna put it in DSC off. Okay. Okay, so it still lets the back end slide out a little bit. All right, we got people that don't know what they're doing. Doesn't burble as much as mine. Again, it could be because I have the non-resonated mid-pipe. But the burbles just sound different in this car. I don't know if it's attributed to the exhaust or just the tuning of the M4 itself. But my M2 seems to have a little bit more aggressive burbles. All right, let's see how it does just flooring it off of idle. I'll put it in Sport Plus everything. Sport Plus, and then I'll put the trans in the sportiest setting. Let's see how it does just flooring it off idle at this light here. Because my car, if I floor it off of idle, my M2, it's just not going to take off very fast. It's going to be spinning, traction's going to be cutting it. You know, one or the other. It's either going to spin or your traction's going to cut your power. You choose. All right, here we go. Wow, this thing moves. That's incredible. You can just take off from a dig like that. It still took a while for the car to actually like go, because there's a little bit of turbo lag. But man, that gets up and moves. Let's see what it did on Dragy. So we did a 4.4 0 to 60 or 4.07 with 1 foot rollout. But that's just flooring it off of idle, which is obviously not optimal. Oh, and that was an uphill. So it's realistically probably like upper threes if you floor it off idle, realistically. Maybe it's like upper threes, low fours. And then I let off before the end of the quarter mile, so the 12.6 doesn't matter. But wow, okay. It moves quick. That was pretty impressive, honestly. The transmission tuning does not feel as aggressive as my M2. M2 bangs off the shifts a little bit more. It's either that or my M2 makes that artificial noise that makes it sound like it's shifting harder, but this one feels like it shifts a little smoother. My M2 is a little bit more aggressive when it shifts in the third shift setting. Like this feels more like my M2 in the second shift setting. And I did have it in Sport Plus, by the way. All right, so let's try this. Put ourselves in 4-wheel drive sport. Everything we'll put in Sport Plus. All right, and we'll try our launch control here. this thing is fast. So it looks like it did a little bog when I let off the, because I was in launch control mode. Looks like it did a little bog and then it early shifted into second gear. It still took off super fast, but it probably could use a little bit better traction or maybe a little bit better of a road surface. 1168 at 122.99. 1168 at 122.99. So that trap speed is like 1 mile an hour faster than what I get in my M2. But I didn't have the best launch, so maybe we can try again. I'm gonna play it on the safe side and wait for those cars to go by. Oh yeah, the 360 camera, that's really nice. I don't have that in my M2, it's not an option. We'll just sit over here on the side and wait for a little bit. It's weird, in my experience, the xDrive cars are faster than the rear-wheel drive cars. Which is weird because the rear-wheel drive cars are technically lighter weight, so they should be faster in the roll race. But like I said, in my experience, the xDrive cars are faster for some reason. It's quick. It makes me nervous how fast it launches. I feel like I'm breaking something because it freaking launches so hard. Well, that time we did it a little bit better. We did 11.3 at 123.29. Okay. Not bad at all. And then the 8th mile was 7.34 at 98.74. And this is 64 degrees, 2,300 feet elevation, and 3,300 feet DA. It has a tank of 91 octane. And then our 60 to 130 on that run was 9.35, which is not bad at all. That's actually pretty close to what my M2 is capable of, but it's still slightly faster. So yeah, I mean, it's safe to say that the M4 xDrive is faster than the M2. Obviously it should be, just not by a huge margin once it's rolling. Very impressive. Yeah, it's so weird. So I have it in the 3rd shift setting and I'm shifting gears and it's shifting like still smooth. My M2, when it's in the 3rd shift setting, it shifts more aggressive, which is so strange to me. But yeah, needless to say, I'm very impressed with the M4 xDrive. I think an M2 xDrive would be amazing. Let's get on a little bit here, getting onto the highway. It's so great having traction because you can just floor it pretty much at any speed and it'll just go, which is nice. You don't have to worry about like managing the back end. Now I will say this, if you have like DSC, if you have DSC turned off and you step on it in a corner, it will still slide the back end out a little bit, even with the xDrive. So you just have to, you know, keep that in mind, but that's actually perfect. You want a little bit of rotation. You don't want to like understeer or anything like that. But yeah, BMW did a great job. Let me know what you guys think of my review of this 2024 M4 xDrive. I liked it a lot. I'd say, honestly, and I'm not saying this to be biased, I'm just being honest, I think I still like my M2 more, other than the fact that this has the xDrive. So I like the M2 driving it more, a little bit more. Like the steering feels a little bit better in the M2, and I just like the little bit shorter dimensions of it. I like the way it looks and stuff, and the interior is exactly the same, which is nice, aside from the seats like I mentioned earlier. So I think I still like my M2. I don't think it's worth the price difference, like especially if you get a rear-wheel drive M4, because you just have to really like the way the M4 looks or whatever, or find value in the few little things that it has over the M2 to spend like $25,000 more than an M2 cost. But as far as like just the car as a whole, I love it. It's great. It's everything I thought it would be. If I got one like this, I'd probably get an M3 instead of an M4 xDrive, because if you get the two-door, I feel like it makes more sense to get the M2. But again, if you want a two-door with xDrive, you have to get the M4 as of right now. Rumors of an M2 coming out in the future with xDrive, but we don't know for sure yet. But with that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, give it a like, subscribe, share your thoughts in the comments below, and I will see you guys in the next one.